The Germans started Hindu research, the Nazis continued, though they went to church. A swastika was a sign for luck, of this the Nazis knew. They seemed to say, "Oh, what the fuck? This'll scare those damn Jews." They stole the sign with no remorse. What happens next, you know, of course. They took the sign, they made it theirs, and used it so widely, so that even now it scares the likes of you and me. The Germans and the Nazis took a lot from Hindu holy books. They read the text more than assumed. If you disagree, I should beat you. Though in danger his life loomed, Himmler always had his Gita. They thought that the Aryan was the highest kind of man, but that was based on lies. The Hindu texts talk of Arya, a person noble and wise. It couldn't be apart any farther. Now let us go back some ways, to see them before the Nazi days. "A nation has been born out of Sanskrit," was what a CU vice-chancellor said. Though India was controlled by Brits, the news of that had spread. If it still confuses you, the Germans liked the Hindu language too. Frederick Max Muller became famous with the Aryan Invasion. However, now the experts say the theory is a myth. Here's the explanation. Though Muller was a scientist, he also was a creationist. He decided India's first were the Dravidians, and the Hindu Aryans had a thirst for the natives' living-ins. To prove him right and validate his theory, he made up stuff, though it's actually not dull and dreary. It would take a long time, he knew, to populate from the Great Flood, and deny God's existence too, and this involved a shed of blood. That, he said, would take a score of years, between about 6 and 8. So the Hindu text, my dears, couldn't be aged as great. The Hindus were taught that their past was based on lies and wouldn't last. In about 1000 b.c.e., from the north, the Hindu Aryans attacked, and to the south the Dravidians had to flee, because the advanced weaponry, of which they lacked. This lie was spread around as fact, even though that's what it lacked. It wasn't until recently that this claim was closely viewed. The experts about 20 years ago, who knew less than me, had their findings increased the Hindu mood. They proved that everything the older so-called experts said was the repetition of lies that they were fed. So why would people listen to Max about the lies that he started, and not after he publicly recant? I'm not quite sure, but it's time that myth and truth were parted. What's the biggest problem with this myth? History it's associated with. The histories taught by the Dravidians, and also by the Hindus, say that from the south the former rid in, and the latter never forced their views. It could just be the way I see, but if all involved agree that the history isn't true, who are we to say, "We know your history better than you, and at the end of the day, nothing you say is right"? To me that doesn't seem quite bright. The downside is that this lie continues to be spread, though many people won't think my essay is what the experts actually said.